What's up, Doc?
Josie's really getting into Bugs Bunny all of a sudden.
Yeah, we're not upset by that. So.
Absolutely not. So hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Disney Beans. I'm Sherry.
And I'm Gooch.
And Josie's in there watching Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny.
So,
she's been asking for Bugs Bunny.
She has.
So, yeah.
Yes. And go ahead and tell the story about yesterday.
I'm so proud. We were pulling into Toys R Us, you know, the toy store mecca for all children, and
Jeffrey's our jam.
big kids like.
Jeffrey's our jam.
Well, we're pulling in, and this was unprompted.
It was.
So I'm very proud, and I feel like I've done my job as a father. And she knows that we're going to look for birthday present ideas for her.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Our
her
birthday's
birthday's
in a couple
2 weeks.
Yes.
We're filming this on July 4th, so happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July, everyone!
So we go in, we pull into the parking lot, and we say, we're just going to look for birthday present ideas for you. And she said, I want a Star Wars birthday present. Yes!
Don't shake it, don't shake it.
Yes!
So it's
That's my girl.
Parenting win 101.
Yes!
Between this and Bugs Bunny, it's just like, oh.
So we found some Star Wars gift ideas.
Yeah. That she turned, on July 18th, she turns 4.
I know, I can't believe it. So, the reason we're here is we're going to do a top 5.
We are starting an actual series of top 5 lists.
And this is the top 5 themed restaurants for Walt Disney World.
Yes. Now, this doesn't take into account the taste of the food, although we've had very good experiences at all these restaurants.
We're just talking about theming.
We're talking about theming because if there's anything that Walt Disney World is known for, whether it be with resorts, parks, restaurants, it's theming.
Now, granted that goes into the whole experience, so it kind of influences our decisions on whether or not we like the restaurant or not. But the theming is a big part of the experience.
It really enhances
it helps when the food's good too.
Yeah, but a good theme can really enhance the food experience. And I just watched that there. I'm sorry.
And a really great theme can make up for just okay food.
And an okay food.
And if you put great theming with great food and great service, well,
so we have both done a top 5. We do have some honorable mentions that we'll share last, but we have compiled these separately. We don't know what each other has put.
Nope.
So would you like to start?
Sure.
Or your number 5?
My number 5 is more of an experience than just a restaurant. It takes 2 dining credits if you go, and it is located at the campground. And my number 5 is the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review.
I didn't even think about Hoop-Dee-Doo.
The Hoop-Dee-Doo Review. The theming, it's like you're going to a turn of the 20th century medicine show, basically. Like it's all like a vaudeville show.
Like a
really.
vaudeville, like definitely like a vaudeville show.
It's a vaudeville style show, and it's so much fun. And the theming is great. It feels like you've been transported back to the turn of the 20th century, and the show is great. The food was really good. The service was good, and it's really like you're transported back to that period of time. And it was just a lot of fun. So Hoop-Dee-Doo Review is my number 5.
Very, very good. I didn't even think about Hoop-Dee-Doo, and Josie's like in there jumping up and down. Okay, my number 5, and I've never been in the original restaurant for this, but I've seen pictures of it, and of course I've seen the I Love Lucy episode with William Holden where this is taking place, and from what I can tell, it is themed exactly to the original. It is located at Hollywood Studios. It is the Hollywood Brown Derby.
See, I thought about that one.
Yeah. I love how it's got, just like in the original restaurant in Hollywood, which when I was there last May, I didn't get to go to Hollywood Brown Derby, unfortunately. But they have all those, the caricatures, just like, and it's a very elegant, it may not be like, she's distracting us. It may not be the fanciest, given the fact it's in the park, it can really only be so fancy because who's going to wear a dress and such to the park. But I really love the atmosphere. The food happens to be very, very good. It's a 2 dining credit. It is a signature, But to me, it's one of the less stuffier of the signatures, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it is just themed so beautifully with the caricatures. It really makes you feel like you're stepping into like 1940s, 1950s Hollywood. So
good one.
So Hollywood Brown Derby's my number. What is your number 4?
My number 4 is probably higher on her list.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
But I happen to know that it is probably her favorite restaurant on property. And it is the 50s Primetime Cafe, also at Hollywood Studios.
Yes.
And it's like you're going to Mom's kitchen.
Yes.
Or Grandma's kitchen even.
Yes.
It's like you're walking into a 1950s kitchen and sitting down at the kitchen table to have dinner with Mom and all your cousins. And
it's got the kitschy 50s type.
Yeah, 50s television sets, and you got 50s TV shows. You got the original Mickey Mouse Club playing.
And you got the knickknacks too.
You got the knickknacks. You got they'll have I Love Lucy episodes on. They'll have Ozzie and Harriet playing. So, and the food is part of the theme as well, because it's like what you would get if you went to a 1950s kitchen. Mm-hmm. Fried chicken, meatloaf, stuff like that. So 50s Primetime Cafe is my number 4.
Very good. And it is a little higher on my list.
I figured.
But my number 4 is located at Epcot. As far as theming for what the restaurant is about, it's hard to beat it. It's beautiful. It's located in Future World in the Seas Pavilion. It is Coral Reef.
It's a good one.
I love that
I didn't think about that one.
Yeah,
it's been a while since we've been there.
Yeah, it has. It's been like 2015 since we went there. But when you walk in, it's got this really cool decor, and then you walk in and you're eating literally in front of the aquarium at the seas. You can see some of the big sea turtles. You can see all kinds of different fish walk by. It can be a very romantic atmosphere too, to me. He's such a dork. But we really, I've heard so many mixed reviews about it. I have never had a bad meal there, but then again, it's been since 2015 since we've been there.
I haven't either, and having the one side of the whole restaurant being a view of the aquarium is really cool.
Yes, and I've eaten at a couple of places that had like the aquarium feel to it, but nothing that I had. I think one was in Atlanta, or was it DC? I can't remember. But it was Chicago. It was actually at the Shed, the Shed Aquarium in Chicago.
Okay.
But it's still, there's just nothing like the Coral Reef. Like I said, you get a beautiful light, glancing off of the water in the aquarium. You might see a scuba diver or two. I mean, it's just...
You might see a 150-year-old sea turtle.
Yes. Actually, he's close to 100 now.
He's close to 100 now.
But I've just always really loved...
Not quite as old as Duke Crush.
Not quite as old. It could be a son.
He's 150, dude.
Yeah. But anyway, I've always had really great experiences at the Coral Reef, which is my number 4. So your number 3.
My number 3 has actually grown to be overall my favorite restaurant on property, period.
Okay.
But as far as theming goes, it's my number 3, and it's Ohana.
See, I didn't even think about Ohana.
And first of all, the food is fantastic. I love the breakfast. I love the dinner. The dinner is amazing.
You can make a meal out of those amazing chicken wings as it is.
Right, but the food that they bring around on the skewers, the chicken and the steak and the shrimp are fantastic, and then the bread pudding. Oh my gosh!
But you have a great view of Cinderella's castle.
But it's like you're at a Polynesian luau type thing. It's not quite like going to the actual luau, but it's inside and air conditioned. But it's the theming there is amazing. They've for dinner they've got a guy walking around playing
on the ukulele,
playing on the ukulele, singing to you, and he might play an Elvis song. He might sing a Polynesian.
I think he did. Didn't he do Tiny Bubbles when we were there?
He did Tiny Bubbles when we were there. So
They
the
give hula
atmosphere
lessons
there.
too.
Yeah, they do hula lessons. So I mean, it's like you're transported to one of the islands in the South Pacific. So Ohana is my number 3.
Very good. I didn't even think about Ohana, so that's very good. Number 3 was one that you have already mentioned before. It is my favorite on property, as in we have to go there every time. Josie.
Okay.
It's 50's Primetime Cafe. It's my number 3 for all the reasons that he mentioned. Also, with the theming, your waiter or waitress is actually either your cousin or your uncle.
And all your they're your uncle, and then
Sometimes they're cousins too.
But all the
Your
others,
aunts.
all the other people sitting around you are cousins too.
Yeah, your cousins are sitting around. I've never had a bad meal there. I've always had great experiences there. The food is always really good, and I love the decor right down to the kitschy wallpaper and the 50s style knickknacks, because my mom collected those. It literally is like walking into my mom's kitchen, my mom's kitchen back in the day. But for all the reasons that he mentioned and so much more, 50s is my number 3.
I'm surprised it wasn't higher.
There's a couple more as far as theming goes that stepped up.
We might be the same.
It
one.
may be the same one. So what is your number 2?
So my number 2 is one of those experiences where, okay, the food is good, it's okay, but the experience, especially if you have a little girl with you that loves princesses, and you can take her to eat inside of Cinderella's castle at Cinderella's royal table. The princess interaction is fantastic. The princess interaction is fantastic. The food is pretty good. It's not my favorite food on property, but it's good. But you're inside Cinderella's castle. You're in her dining room. It looks like you're in a princess's dining room in a castle.
You got a great view of Fantasyland.
You have a great view of Fantasyland. And again, the character interaction you get there with the princesses coming around to your table is great. And that's my number 2.
That's very good. I'll just go ahead and say it's one of my alternates, or one of my honorable mentions.
Okay, well there you go.
It was hard to choose between like that and Brown Derby, but I just thought Brown Derby had, when I factored in everything, including the food quality, that kind of took it up a little. I would have rather straight on theming, but I did when it came when
if you had a tie.
If I had a tie, I used the tiebreaker, which was food.
Okay.
But my number 2, up until we went in December, was my number 1 themed restaurant. And by the way, with these are anything that we do is things that we have had experiences with. Just because it didn't make our, like, if you have a themed restaurant, we may not have gone there, or it just didn't make our list.
Because I know one
reason.
coming up that might make the list, because we're doing Skipper Canteen next trip.
We haven't been there yet. We've never been there yet. But we're right, you're right, everyone's right. This is just our opinions, and we would love to hear yours. But up until December, this was my number 1 as far as theming goes. It's hard to beat this. It is located in Hollywood Studios. It is Sci-Fi Dine-In.
That's a good one.
The theming.
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally.
I didn't think about Sci-Fi Dine-In.
I mean, think about it. You're sitting in a car.
You're in a drive-in.
In a drive-in. And it's dark, so if you don't like dark spaces, I don't necessarily recommend or tight quarters.
You don't go to a drive-in theater during the day. So.
Exactly, and Disney took that into account. They took the theming, and the food does happen to be good, but they also have like little if you have bigger company, you can sit in like the little. And they're not fancy booths.
It's like you're in a car. It's like you're sitting in a car.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like the picnic tables in the back, you know. But they took that time to theme it, and of course you have the really horrible, cheesy D-grade movies that they play.
That she loves.
That I love because
I'm Monster from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Because I'm a big fan of Mystery Science Theater 3000. And most of those movies I have seen on Mystery Science Theater 3000. Right. But I love the theming of this restaurant. Yeah, you got tight quarters and everything.
But as far as the theming goes, yeah, it's spot on.
The theming is off the charts at Sci-Fi Dine-In, and that is my number 2. So, all right, what is your number 1?
All right, so number 1. Okay, Disney really went all out on this one. And
Why do I have a feeling it's the same
probably
one?
the same one. Hey, baby girl.
Josie, please be careful. You're going to knock it over.
Knock it over, okay? Please be careful. Hey. All right, we're going to have a Josie sighting.
All right, so say hi, Josie.
Hey, Josie. When we went to eat at Disney World, what was your favorite place to eat?
I got 4.
What was your favorite place to eat at Disney World?
I eat
Did
fried chicken.
You
Fried
ate
chicken.
you ate fried
She ate
chicken.
fried chicken.
I think anywhere that has fried chicken
Is
is
her favorite.
Josie's favorite.
Okay, so my number 1 is one of the new ones
At least for us.
for us, but my number 1 is Be Our Guest.
That's my number
As far
1
as
too.
theming. Because I'm going to tell you what, it's like you're going to have dinner at Beast's.
It literally, from the moment you walk into through that bridge, once you check in,
You're transported to Beast Castle.
it's unreal. It's unreal. I mean, you have the grand ballroom that's got that gorgeous gorgeous dome ceiling, and of course you've got the West Wing, which is
Where the rose is.
where the rose
You know
is.
what? I think the only way they could have made it better, Imagineers, if you're listening, is if when you walk in the front door,
Don't shake, baby.
Lumiere is there with animatronics saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, we present
Your dinner."
That's the only way it could have been better.
That's a good idea. But I love how they've got the shining knights, and you can hear them snoring or
Yes.
whatever. But you've got these beautiful. It's just the theming is out of this world for this restaurant.
Wait,
Go watch Bugs Bunny, baby. Mwah.
I want my drink.
Okay, go get your drink. but yeah, like he said, it's I mean, it's very rare when you're literally transported into the place that you're going to eat and you completely leave. It feels like you've left Walt Disney World
Reality.
and you've literally walked right into Beast Castle
Yeah.
to have
It's pretty amazing.
dinner. And if you're lucky during dinners, you can see the Beast. We actually did
Yeah.
meet the Beast. Josie
did.
was asleep.
It's one of the only places you can meet him.
Yeah, maybe the only place you can.
Yeah,
meet him.
and he's not out all the time. You have to catch it right at the right time.
You know, we happened to catch it right at the right time, and it was.
Pretty awesome.
But that restaurant, I mean, I keep hearing rumors of them doing a Haunted Mansion themed restaurant.
I can't wait for that. If they do it,
Please do, because if anything could ever be Our Guest for theming, I think it might be that.
Yeah.
So what are your honorable mentions?
So I've got 5 honorable mentions,
Oh wow!
actually.
So really, you got a top 10.
It's hard, but I'm just going to run through them. Honorable mention for Tusker House at Animal Kingdom. It's a character meal, African themed. You've got the safari, Mickey Mouse safari, Donald, Goofy, and Daisy.
Daisy. Mm-hmm.
Then Casey's Corner. I love Casey's Corner. I'm a baseball fan, and
I was only taking
Casey.
into account table service, but yeah, Casey's
Corner.
fantastic.
It's like you're going to the baseball field and getting a hot dog in the baseball field. It's great. Santa and Hell Inn.
Yes, that's
which
one of
is
my honorable mentions
Honorable
too.
mention for that. It's like you're sitting out on. It's like you're sitting outside on a veranda in Mexico, basically.
Really, and we had the most gorgeous view. We were like right there at the front where we had a great view
Right by
of the
waterfall and the volcano and
the pyramid.
Or pyramid, yeah, volcano. And 1500 Park Fair.
That's a really nice,
that's
pretty themed. Yes.
over at
the Grand
Floridian.
Mm-hmm.
It's where it's a character meal. You can have, I think it's lunch and dinner with Cinderella and Drusilla.
No, it's just dinner.
It's just dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Cinderella, Drusilla, the evil stepsisters, and Lady Tremaine, and then you have breakfast with Mary Poppins, Pooh, Tigger, and the Mad Hatter.
And Mad Hatter, yeah.
And then Crystal Palace is another honorable mention.
That's a beautiful restaurant. I didn't even think about Crystal Palace.
And that's the Pooh characters, and it's right there in Magic Kingdom, right as you get to the end of Main Street to the left as you're facing the castle.
It's gorgeous.
And it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous restaurant. On the
I mean, and when they say crystal, they mean crystal. It's just like glass.
So there are many more that I could mention, and I could keep going on, but I tried to keep it to 5 honorable mentions. I'm sure.
I have 3.
Okay.
One of them was San and Helen for the same reasons that you mentioned. Another honorable mention was one that you mentioned in your top 5, Cinderella's Royal Table, for obvious reasons. One that you did not mention that I'm going strictly on theming for an honorable mention is the Yak and Yeti.
I thought
sit
about Yak
down.
and Yeti, yeah.
It really, especially that front area as
It's
you
like
walk
you're in
in.
Marrakesh.
It literally is like you're walking into Marrakesh. I mean, it's really gorgeous. The food for us was decent. It wasn't
I kept waiting to see what's her name from Miriam Ravenwood.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I thought Raiders of the Lost Ark when I walked into there.
At the very beginning, when he goes to find the headpiece to the Staff of Ra, and he goes to see Miriam in her bar. That's what made me think of it.
Yeah, so those are our top 5 and honorable mention. Let's run through them right quick. My number 5, Hollywood Brown Derby. Number 4, Coral Reef. Number 3, 50s Primetime Cafe. Number 2, Sci-Fi Dine-In. Number 1, Be Our Guest.
And for me, it was number 5, Hoop-De-Doo Review. Number 4, 50s Primetime Cafe. Number 3, Ohana. Number 2, Cinderella's Royal Table. And number 1, Be Our Guest. I think we're in consensus with Be Our Guest, right?
Yeah, and well, we had a good variety there.
Yeah,
That kind of shocked me a little bit. I thought we'd have a little bit more that we would have mentioned, but like I said, the theming at Disney is really, really good, but these are the ones that just stand out to us. So if you have a top 5 of the top of your top 5 of the themed restaurants,
Comment below.
Let us know. And if we haven't been there before, we would love to try them.
Yep, let us know.
The next one, let's see. I think maybe we'll film one next week. Tomorrow, the latest of the December 2016 trip vlogs comes out. I can't remember what day we're on. It's like they're all running together. We're all running together here. Let's say the next one will be the top 5 signature restaurants. So that is the little bit more of expensive category.
Usually 2 dining credits.
Usually 2 dining credits. So that is our assignment, and we've only been to 5 we've been to 6, but 1 got transformed into something else. So we've only been to 5. So
top 5 is probably going to be very similar.
It's going to be very similar, but we'll see. They may be
differently.
ranked a little differently.
Wait
So
and see. The cliffhanger is here now.
okay. Okay, so but as he said earlier, happy 4th of July, everyone. We I think we're up to 194 subscribers now. We are beyond blessed and thrilled.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. And if there's any content that you would like to see, any sort of review, more in-depth reviews
Let us
of
know.
different things, please let us know. Comment below. Give us some likes and hit that subscribe button and let your friends know about us. And we'll see you on the next one. So for Josie,
Gooch.
I'm Cherry. We're the Disney Beams, and as we always like to end our videos, we like to say love, peace, rock, and a little bit of pixie dust.
See ya.
Bye guys, we'll see you real soon.